Yeah, I know it was down because they told me they were fixing it. I didn't think it'd be down this long. I just went on it, but it might not be from the student side. It might not be.
All right, so if you click on, that.
Yeah.
you bring up there are features that-
Okay, no worries. We'll figure it out. I mean, you guys don't need it.
Well, we have to say this so that we don't start removing marks. If you don't turn our assignments in on time.
Oh, no, it'll be fixed by, it'll be fixed by.
Oh, we hope so.
Yeah, if it's not fixed by then, I don't know. No worries.
I don't like it when you remove one mark.
Yeah, nobody likes to do mark. Nobody likes mark removal. Everybody likes all their points. Right? Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Any questions about what's due this week or upcoming or anything from last week, grades, anything? No? We good? All right, perfect. All right. So this week. No worries. Come on in. Come on. It's all good. You guys have any questions about last week, this week? Any, I know Moodle's down. No, nobody else knew. It's down, so just in case you didn't access it, it's not up. You can check it again. I don't know, maybe they have it fixed.
Like for today or?
Yeah, right now it is. So, but, be all right, okay? Okay, so no questions, no comments, no gripes, no groans. Okay, I wouldn't listen anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, all right, so this week we're gonna talk about changes and what specifically changed, and then we're gonna talk about purpose and vision, okay? And so, and we're gonna do a little, not really class activity, because you guys can't access the Moodle, but we'll try. I got a couple articles I want you to look at, and read as groups together, and then we'll talk about it, okay? All right, so let's see, change management, right? Organization, yes.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
What do you consider technology, like internal factor or external factor?
External.
Can't be internal.
It can be internal, yeah, absolutely. But my first thought is that it's external. Because you're trying to, if you already have technology for the company, you can control that.
But what if like employees are not able to get it? Like,
What do you mean?
like they're not able to learn how to use that.
Yeah, that's not a necessarily a internal concern per se. That's more of like, I need to hire the right people that understand the material, get understanding the software. So why you got, what, is that something specific or?
No, just a question like.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it goes back to training, you know, and for the most part, if they just say you have some new software, if 10 to 15% of people don't get it, or 20% of people don't get it in your workforce, then it's probably too complicated.
Yeah.
You probably need to go back and see if you can get something a little more streamlined, a little more user friendly. But usually, if the 95%, 90% of the population is getting it, then those 10%, they just need to work a little harder to pick it up. All right. So most systems are nowadays, they're off the shelf and they're pretty user friendly, pretty easy to integrate. Yeah, SAP, ADP, APP, Work, Salesforce, Workday, PeopleSoft, I mean, Oracle. Yeah, I mean, all those are pretty much trainable. Right, so, but I consider that more of a it could be an internal factor if I'm deciding whether or not to change to something else. Right, because maybe it's too difficult.
And what if like employees don't like that software, you know, like sometimes they're.
What you mean don't like it?
And all.
They don't like it personally, don't like it?
So, like, the way they were working before, sometimes people think like that was the easy way.
No, that's logistic issue.
And no,
It's different.
no, it's not even a mistake. I think generally people react to changes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
whether it is good or bad, people will just say, I mean, people
maybe
want to
it
use
can be
it,
a-
yeah.
Short-term factor, like, until they are changed.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you make a change, right? So we haven't actually been through the change management process, right? Whenever you make a change, it's certain groups of people and there's certain things you're gonna go through, all right? there's gonna be people that at the beginning are gonna be like, I don't care, whatever the change is, I'm fine. There's gonna be people that are gonna be like, yes, I love the change, it's great. Then you have other people are like, I don't like the change, all right? But there's always an integration period. You're just not gonna boom, one day, here you go, and then tomorrow it's offline. Doesn't work that way. We kind of integrated it slowly, so you'll know 6 months, a year ahead of time, hey, this is what we're gonna be doing. And then come March or April, we're going to phase it in. And as we phase it in, we start taking away access to certain parts of the old system, all right, or the old process, right? And we're expecting people to start incorporating and integrating the new system or process, right? But that happens over time, right? We give people time because we understand there's a learning curve for everything. So you'll get a month or two, you might even get 6 months, where we say, hey, during the 6 month period, you can use both systems. Doesn't matter, either or. But come January, 1 of 2024, we're going to one system. So they give you all the time in the world to figure it out, all right? If you need training, we got training. If you need additional training, we got additional training also. Companies just don't throw stuff in your lap unless it's something that's very, very, very simple. Like super simple, like, hey, we're changing phone companies or something, or, we're going from a iPhone to an Android. That, I expect you to just pick that up tomorrow. You'll be fine with that.
Usually companies hiring expert people for that,
Yeah, exactly, right? So wherever,
to merge with the old employee
Yeah,
and train
yeah,
at the
whoever,
same time.
whoever the vendor is, they're probably gonna send a team in.
I was going to say.
Yeah, they'll send a team.
What's going on? So.
Or they'll train the trainer.
Oracle has provided, like, I have a friend who is working with Oracle.
Mhm,
So he is going companies to companies because they did something update with the system.
mhm.
It's like a hospitality system. So he and his team are going to the hospitality, like, hotel.
Yeah.
To train like their head members so they
Mhm.
can like train to their team. So this is going on right now, like.
So what's that?
People,
What's that called? What they're doing? What they doing? What is it called?
like what they're doing.
Yeah, what's that called?
Experience. Like,
Yeah, so I'll take experience, but what the specific, like, job they're doing?
training.
They're training, right? They're consultants. That's it, they're consulting. Hey, you wanna buy this software, you wanna integrate it, no problem. This is all the features it comes with. This is all the support it comes with, the customer support, all this stuff. We're gonna content in the team and we're gonna do a mass training. Get all your people in there on Monday morning. We're gonna do a PowerPoint, then we're gonna do practical application, 2-week training. After that, they should be good to go. If they don't, are not feel proficient or they're, still not sure about it, there's a website and they can always call the helpline. And that's it. This is all consulting. That's all it is. Okay, so you gonna hop from place to place and do that all day. Yeah, but that's what happens for the most part, but companies just don't drop stuff on, employees. That's not the smart way to implement any change, if you want it to be successful. Not gonna do that, especially if it's something that they're trying to learn, that's new. All right, good question though. All right, anybody else? No? Okay, cool. All right, so what exactly do we change when it comes down to, org development or change management? What would you change in your company as a CEO?
It depends what the company or organization needs in change.
Okay, just in general, just
In
general
terms of
things,
what?
in terms of just whatever.
Like, why should I change?
No, what to change,
Or what to change?
what to change,
Uh,
what area should I change? Processing, okay, yeah. There's no wrong answer, there's a bunch of answers.
Sometimes policy.
Policy, yeah,
The rules,
Workforce.
plans,
workforce,
sometimes plan, sometimes like employees, you can change, like
With
Nigeria
that,
did it, they not successful, not
Yeah.
achieve targets or something,
Yeah.
Goals.
goals, right? So you gotta look at, okay, what are we changing? Are we changing a strategic factor?
maybe,
Are we changing an operational factor?
maybe.
Right? Are we changing the tactical factor? Are we changing the human factor? Right? What is it that we're changing, right? And then is that change, what's the first order effect? What's the second order effect? What's the third order effect? Right? Or the fourth order effect, right? Because every change you make is gonna have a chain reaction down the road, right? Somebody else is being affected in a way that you're probably not thinking about. Okay, and so you have to be real diligent as to what you're changing, right? And making sure that you understand what it's affecting, what the impact is gonna be long and short term. Okay, not every change that you make is going to be organization, integrated. It may just be one specific area. Say, hey, we need to change the strategic approach in marketing. Right? We may need to change the way that we look at, our technology, but for strictly IT. Right? What software is IT using to do all that things? How many maintainers do we have and that kind of thing, right? We may change our approach to how, we do our business. So for instance, everybody's seen, maybe you haven't, but there's a preview out for a movie about Nike and how they got Michael Jordan to sign with Nike. All right. Because before Michael Jordan signed with Nike, there was no such thing as a signature sneaker. Okay. It wasn't a thing like that. Like, not as big as Michael Jordan. Like, when Jordan signed with Nike, it was something new, something innovative that nobody else had done. All right. Maybe tennis was the only place where they kind of had the Stan Smith. Everybody's seen the Stan Smith. They're white Adidas. They have their little holes on the top there, green on the back. Everybody has you can wear them with suits. You can wear, you're talking about, right? There's a Stan Smith that's named after a particular tennis player, right? But he just had his little name on it, and he didn't really do too much with it. It's a great sneaker, but it's not the same as Jordan and Nike. Nike looked at Michael Jordan and said, how can we leverage this person to build our brand, right? And it's something they had never done before. No one had done it before. How do we market a person? How do we market this brand? How do we market this person as a brand, right? Because if you try to market a person as a brand, what is it that you have to do if I'm trying to market someone as a brand? I'm trying to market you as a brand. What are some of the considerations I have to take in mind? Publicity? What do you mean by publicity?
It's announcing. It's announcing, yeah.
Announcing, what do you mean by?
Like to reach all the around people, like you.
Okay, so, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
How much reach does this person really have? Right? If this person is just a local hero, is that really something I want? Right? Am I gonna put money into a local hero? No, I need a global hero. Right?
Okay.
Reach, yes. Known to everybody. Michael Jordan goes anywhere. Everybody knows Michael Jordan. Okay, I don't care who you are, what you say. The only other person that everybody else knows is the other Michael Jackson. Right? Everybody knows Michael Jordan, everybody knows Michael Jackson. That's it. Aside from that, everybody doesn't know everybody, right? Maybe Kobe, maybe LeBron, maybe, right? Whitney Houston. But for the most part, name recognition is important, right? So I'm gonna put money into this person, right? Brand, okay? So we'll go on there with publicity. Is that what you kind of meant?
We call it brand ambassador.
Brand
Such
ambassador,
as
right?
Musa
Right.
with Oppo devices.
That's
When,
something,
when they did it for Egyptian market.
Okay.
Market.
Mhm.
So they used to search for someone famous there.
Mhm.
So they decided to go for Salah because it's known for the Arabs.
Yeah.
It's a soccer player,
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
Salah.
yeah.
Yeah, they signed with him like 3 years to be
Okay.
ambassador for Oppo.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Oppo is the most famous brand in Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is Oppo?
It's like,
It's a phone.
Oh.
Yeah, Chinese phone.
We consider this as a marketing and as change.
it is, yeah, it's marketing, but it's a marketing change because the change is part of marketing, but it's part of the bigger overall strategy of the company. Right? So what they did was basically, they said, hey, Michael Jordan's gonna be the first one we're gonna do this with, all right? So we got Michael Jordan, I'm just gonna put MJ at the center of the universe here, okay? And so they put out the Michael Jordan shoe, huge success, okay? And so they're like, well, guess what? We could probably do it with some other people too. They got another one, Charles Barkley, all right? Everybody knows Charles Barkley, maybe, maybe not. He's another famous basketball player, right? Okay, we're gonna do this with, John McEnroe, the tennis player. We're gonna do it with Serena. We're gonna do it with all these other guys. Just because Michael Jordan was successful, right? So now when you go to the store, now it's kind of normal for you guys, right, to pick up a shoe and it's somebody's signature shoe. But when I was growing up, there was no such thing, right? You just got the sneaker because they made the sneaker and you liked it and that was it. You weren't going to run out to get Steph Curry shoes or LeBron shoes or, you know, Neymar shoes or Ronaldo shoes. There was no such thing as that, okay? And so it's not just, it's a marketing change, it's a strategic change because they realize like, oh, our business model can change based off the success of this, right? Is it marketing heavy? Yes, right? Is it brand heavy? Yes, okay? So with that comes some other considerations, right? You have to understand, you know, what's the reach, right? Or publicity or whatever you want to call it, right? Right? What access does this person have to the population, right? How big is this really can go, right? With people name recognition, right? What's the other thing you gotta worry about?
Worry about.
Yeah. Think about, consider. If you think about the person's name recognition, right? What's something you should be thinking about?
Fan following.
Fan following, kind of the same thing, right? What else you?
Enhances
Who?
the, let's say the cost of, investment.
Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely the cost of investment, right? How much is it gonna cost me to really get this person, right? So that's a good one because it cost Nike a lot of money to sign Michael Jordan. He had the biggest contract at that point.
But at the
Okay.
initial time when they signed him up for very little money.
They did sign him for a little, not
because
too
they
much.
didn't actually think he was gonna be a brand.
No, he didn't know, that's right, he did not
They
think
didn't
he
think
was
he
gonna
was
bring,
gonna be a brand.
They didn't
It was
know,
just a
yeah.
random-
just a random person they were trying to
When
build.
the people, when
Mhm.
they did it.
Yeah.
They now made a lot of, triple the amount of money they invested in.
Yeah, but he made a good contract, he got a good contract, at that time was one of the highest contracts for him. For a player, for basketball player. All the money you see now that athletes are getting, there was nothing like that, okay? The top salary in the NBA back in the day was $2 million.
Yeah.
That's what you got for a 4-year, 5-year contract, okay? These guys making $2 million a game.
Game.
Okay, some of them are, like LeBron I think makes $400,000 a game,
That's all.
a game. Okay, so it's not the same, but cost is definitely, right? How much investment do we need to put into this particular person, right? Especially if we're going to anchor him and make him our core, right? And then build around him if it's a successful model, right? But there's something else.
What about his personality?
His personality, yes.
Because if it's someone like, if it's someone like our friend Tesla, what's his name now?
Oh, Elon?
Musk?
Right.
Yeah, every tweet makes a lot of change, so.
What's that? It's not, yeah,
That's-
that's true, right? But Elon Musk is not a brand per se, okay? Hey, come on in. He's not a brand.
He has a good brand, but he's not.
Yeah, he's not a brand, right? He owns a brand,
Yeah.
but he's not a brand himself, okay? But you have to worry about the person's personality. Where does the person's personal life start to intersect with the business now? Okay? What kind of person is Michael Jordan? Or was he?
Yeah.
Right?
Does
That-
he related to the same field or not?
It's not necessary.
No.
Because as you said before, if they called Michael Jackson,
Mhm.
Nike called Michael Jackson, it doesn't
Different.
do the same
No.
reaction.
It's not. It's different. Different, right?
That's why.
Because it,
He's this.
well, they not, well, that
No.
part too, but it's different because they're different people and they do different things. They act differently, right? They act differently in the public space. Okay? Michael Jordan was, you know, born in New York, raised in North Carolina, came from a 2-parent home. His parents were hardworking, good people, no problems. He played sports, had a normal childhood, so he looked like a poster boy. Okay? He was a model citizen. You know what I'm saying? He came in the NBA, no problems whatsoever, just good dude, and just lived his life. He just played basketball and that was it, right? That's easy to market. Okay, I can market that guy all day.
That's
Right.
what I mean. That's what I mean, because Michael Jordan plays sport, basketball,
Mhm.
and Nike, a sport company,
Yeah. But,
related together.
yeah, I mean, but you can still have it
Very
where,
Nike,
you're right on that point, in a sense, but you could still have Michael Jackson with Nike. Right? Because Michael Jackson wears sneakers. They could make a Michael Jackson shoe, like a Tiger Woods shoe, right? Tiger Woods plays golf, but they wear certain shoes to play golf, right? If you ever see golf shoes, you can pretty much, they sell them in the store, in the shoe store. You can go wear them out with a suit and just wear them with jeans and then golf shoes, right? So you could have Michael Jackson do that, but Michael Jackson would have been different because Michael Jackson had some issues with coming with Michael Jackson, all right? He had the whole kids thing, then he had the whole, his hair got caught on fire, that thing. He had his whole family, which, is another ball of wax, was another problem with, just a lot of stuff with Michael. You got to unpack, right? Do we want this guy to be our brand ambassador? Right? Do we want to build our business and center our business around this man, right? Do we want to change our whole strategic approach and bank everything we had on this guy, Michael Jackson, right? So you gotta think about that. Michael Jordan was probably like, it's easy, right? We could do it, right? The hardest part was convincing Michael Jordan because, as you said, he didn't think it was gonna be successful. He was like, I'm gonna get this money. I got a sneaker. I'm good. Because Michael Jordan was gonna sign with Adidas. But Adidas didn't believe in him. Adidas didn't want to give him money. Yeah, they didn't believe in him. Okay. And so because of that, they were like, nah, we're good. Nike took a chance. They saw something and was like, you know what? We're gonna build our business model, our strategic approach to this, right? So they changed everything up. Because before Michael Jordan, Nike was about to go bankrupt. They're about to close. They're about to close the doors. They were going down the street because everybody know how Nike started. The owner of Nike, he's a track guy. He's a runner. Nike's were running shoes. Okay, up in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. Oregon University or University of Oregon. No, Oregon University. The Ducks. He's their official sponsor because that's what he went to school. They get all their stuff for free. All that Nike stuff is free because he went there, but he started out as a runner. And then he kind of put the company up, but he was about to go bankrupt. So Michael Jordan came along and then that was it, right? So now if you look, Nike's business model is all about building brands. Okay? They have a brand manager for pretty much every sector of the sports, soccer, football, basketball, they changed it up. But they had to realize like, hey, we have to make a change here, right? In the strategic approach. And then how does that affect our operational processes, right? What change do we need to make there? Do we need to get additional factories? Do we need to get additional equipment? Do we need to get other people to come in, right? Like designers. Okay, that's one thing they didn't have before. They just didn't, making a shoe is not easy. And if you only have one style, eventually people are gonna be like, okay, I'm good. Everybody can't have the same sneaker and look the same, right? And so they need to bring other people in that were designers that could think about, hey, what do people really like? What would we like to wear, right? We have to get physicists, chemists, engineers, right? Because we have to build better soles, we have to build better uppers, we have to get the best leather, we have to get the best stitching, all this stuff, right? So the change that they made was more strategic overall, right? And how they approach their business model. Right? And it changed the game. And now Nike is a global billionaire, billion-dollar company. Everybody knows Nike, everybody wears Nike. It's like everybody else is behind them. Adidas, Reebok, doesn't matter. They're all behind Nike. Okay? Because Nike changed their strategic approach based on the success of Michael Jordan, right? Of how they did that, right? So understanding where you need to change and what you need to change is just as critical as, deciding whether you need to change or not. Okay? Because they realize that we need to make some kind of change, we're gonna have to close the doors. Why should we take all our money and invest in this particular person? Okay, well, we have nothing else to lose, right? We're about to go out the door. This kid's, soon to be phenom, or at least he looks like he's gonna be a superstar. Let's go ahead and bank our, our whole company on him and let's roll. Right? And it turned out to be good for them. Okay. All right, so I want to do a little something different. Has anybody seen the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith?
Yeah.
He's fighting zombies and all kinds of stuff, right? Okay. No? Have I seen it? Yeah, I don't know. If you're not into zombie movies and that kind of thing, it's not from Will Smith, you probably haven't seen it, right? But it's an interesting movie. So basically what happens is there's a virus and people get the virus, they get bit by someone who's infected and they turn into this crazy person, regular zombie stuff, right? Like The Walking Dead, sort of, okay, but faster, okay? They're real fast and strong, right? But to watch the movie, the zombies are very, like most zombies, they're not too smart, okay? They're just followers. They have the basic needs, right? The need to eat, that's it, the need to feed, whatever that is, okay? So, but throughout the movie, you see the evolution of, Will Smith's character as he starts to do the research, he's trying to figure out how to, find the cure and all this stuff. And so in order to do that, he has to go out and get zombies so he can do experiments, okay? And so while he's doing that, he runs into a bunch of zombies, every day he's killing them, whatever, he shoots them, right? And so the movie goes on, all right? So we're gonna watch a clip from the movie, there's two clips, and then we're gonna talk about it. I wanna know what you think about the movie or the clip you saw and how it relates to change management or organizational development. Okay? Let me see.
Now we get popcorn.
I'm gonna say no popcorn, okay? No popcorn. No popcorn. All right, where'd it go? Oh, I didn't say.
You just leave.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. The brain. Oh, that's one. Was just fine earlier. All right. Ready? Over here. All right. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna move this up. So. All right, so I want you to pay attention to this scene, right? Okay, because this is the scene that I really wanted to talk about, okay? So notice that he's just standing there by himself, okay? All right. So we'll talk about it while it's playing, or while you've seen it, right? What did you guys think of that? What came to mind? I know it's really short clip, but what came to mind when you saw him standing there and he just started yelling and screaming, and then everybody else kind of came forward and attacked the house?
Looking for a solution to protect his family.
Who?
The man.
Will Smith?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
He gave a direction to his people.
He get direction to the people. All right, what else?
Oh, well, so this time around, he thought, well, what I would have done if I was in this issue, seeing that this guy, it's not just about one person now. Yeah, the leader of the zone is screaming, right? Initially he saw the leader, the guy screamed. He didn't know that he had so many people coming behind. So if it was just a leader, I'm sure he would have picked his gun and start engaging him. But this time around, he saw a host of them coming. So the first thing to do is to kill and think about what to do.
Okay, well,
We are talking about the guy who screamed, no? Or like the one.
no, I'm focused on the zombie, yeah.
Oh, the zombie.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're okay. Yeah, I'm focused on the zombie.
Oh, yeah.
Will Smith's important too, but not for what I'm trying to talk about. Right, I'm focused on the zombie and the zombies, you know, what you got from the zombie.
Yeah, he gave a good direction.
Maybe you want us to have a solution for him or what?
Yeah, not a solution, but what was your perspective? What was your perception of what you saw based, you know, having change management or organizational development in your mind, like as a setting, as a background?
One hand doesn't clap. He asked for help.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's possible. Okay, all right. Now, I know some of you haven't seen the movie, right? So you think about the fact that the zombies are mindless. Okay, they have no thought. Okay, so now you're expecting just a herd of just stupid zombies who only react to one thing, only have one stimulus, and that's feeding, right? Blood, food, human, whatever it is they're looking at, right? And then now you have this one zombie, for some reason, he's smart.
Yeah.
All right, how did that happen?
Because it's originally a human being. maybe.
No, they were all human at one point. Those used to be people.
He's more strong, that's when he becomes a leader.
I guess.
I think, well, I'm beginning to get it now. So the smartness here comes out when he knows the enemy, he knows that it's a hard guy. If he went to attack the Smith head on, he could die. He had to send those guys in first. Go and do the groundwork. And by the time they fish out the Smith, they can have the share.
It's something like that. Okay. So the only thing, believe me, I wanted to show the whole movie, but I got in trouble last time for showing movies. Okay, so I just showed a bit, and it's hard to get a full view of what I'm trying to get at, right? So the zombie, right, at some point was just like all the other zombies, and somewhere along the line, he saw that he needed to organize in order to beat Will Smith. Okay, there was something in his mind that said, we need to change our approach. We need to figure out what do we need to do different in order to beat this guy? Because this guy's been coming into all our buildings, he's been shooting us, we're all dying, we're hungry. He looks good, we want to eat him, but he won't let us eat him. Right? How do we go about, changing our you know, kind of like our path towards getting to him. Okay, and what I'm trying to really stress is that sometimes you'll have one person in the group, right, who will kind of get that light bulb moment and say, you know what, I need to change, right? We need to change in order to reach the objective, right? And he was that guy, but it was more, I think it was more prominent or more, like stood out more to me because of a bunch of zombies. Okay, what does he know about change management? What does he know about organizational development, right? Do you think that before they left, you think he got all the guys together, all the zombies together? Come on in, let me talk to you. Okay, look, we've been trying to get him for a long time, and I got a plan. Just follow me, and we're gonna eat tonight. You think that's what happened? No.
No.
That's not what happened, okay? No. That's not what, I don't know what happened. All right, all I know is, whatever is going on in his head, right? He's evolving. He's developing, he's changing, right? And that's really what all development change management is about seeing the goal in front of you and understanding your workforce, right? And then changing or adapting to get to where you need to be, right? Even on the most simplistic level as zombies, okay? Because all they want to do is eat, right? And actually Will Smith's not just one person, not enough food for all of you. Either way, okay? But the movie has certain aspects of it where you can see change happening right in front of your eyes, and you're not really focused on it because you're focused on other things in the movie, right? You're focused about Will Smith's survival, about him finding a cure, his personal dilemma, his personal story, his personal challenges, whatever the case may be, the dog, all that other stuff, right? And you kind of miss the point of the zombies are starting to develop, right? If one's gonna develop, then might be another one that's gonna develop, right? And now we can start kind of forming and start codifying rules, right? We can start actually thinking about how do we go about putting together a procedural process to go get food, right? To go eat people or whatever zombies do, okay? So there is change going on within that organization, if you want to call it an organization, like the zombie company, right? There's change going on, right? But you see how slowly it goes also, right? It's one zombie and he's pretty much telling them to come on. And everybody is basically like, yeah, we're gonna roll with you because we don't know any better, okay? We're gonna accept the change. We don't have no problem with that, right? And they just go, they march ahead and nobody cares. Okay, so it's important to understand like what you need to change, right? And also understand who you're trying to change, right? The workforce that you're dealing with is not always going to, embrace the change like we were talking about before. There's gonna be pockets within that particular dynamic, within that particular population that are not gonna be happy with the change, or they're gonna go along with the change, or they're gonna go against the change. The point is that you need to know that. You need to plan for that, right? Because it's gonna happen, right? Just like the zombie, he realized, okay, we need to change our approach because what we were doing before wasn't working. He's picking us off one by one. And there's another scene where, and I think it's the other clip I have, which is a little more poignant, but you see him kind of come out. Let's go back here. Back to my PowerPoint. Okay. No, show. Now let me just copy. No. Same thing. All right. Trying to do what I want. Either way, the point I was trying to get at is, let's see this one. same one then. Oh, no. So that's why. All right, so you notice in this scene that he tries to come outside, but of course the zombies are allergic to light, sunlight. If they go in the sunlight, they're like vampires, they cook up and they die, right? But he notices that this zombie, for some reason, is not coming out. He looks like he's thinking about it. Like he's actually like, okay, if I go out here and chase this guy, there's gonna be problems, right? So Will Smith is seeing this change going on, right? He's starting to think in his head, is this zombie going back and organizing these people, organizing these other zombies to come attack? Is this guy strategizing to how he's going to take over my house or come get me, right? Is he formulating a plan, okay? And so he sees that evolution happening, right? And the zombie goes back inside, and sure enough, that's what he does, right? At the end of the movie, you see him, he goes, he waits till nighttime, they come out, and then next thing you know, he calls them out and they all rush, okay? Again, we're looking at what is it that we need to change, who we need to change, right? Understanding who we're dealing with, right? And also, you know, that, huh?
And why?
And why, right? Why did the zombies want to change? Why did he want to change? Why did he do what he did as far as from the zombie perspective? Any thoughts? No? You don't get it? Why would the zombie want to change? What did the zombie
Because
do?
it's not working the first plan, then it's not working with the zombies.
Right,
So that's why it's not, I have to change my, like my action or my things.
My approach, right?
To deal with them.
so was that an internal or external factor of change?
Internal,
External.
internal.
Why, okay, why external?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The internal things, yeah, the internal things that he did the first.
Okay,
Like he shoot on some of them and they start to be more and more common. Then, so he was thinking like another situation, another plan B would say, to like out of the box. I
okay,
wanna think something different than this. This is in my head. I can't solve this problem. I have to see something else.
okay,
All right, well, that's one.
okay.
Maybe.
External, I believe, because they have to change because for different guy.
Okay, well, different, okay,
Yeah. So maybe it's external by Will Smith and internal by the zombies themselves.
yeah, but why did the zombies change? Why did the head zombie
To beat Will Smith.
to beat Will Smith, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, what you gonna say, Artie?
I believe it's internal because they already tried, like they know their target. They already tried like what they have to do and they're not getting the result. So the target is still same, so they just have to change the plan internally to get the target finished also.
Is the target still the same though?
The target is still same, like.
The goal is still the same?
It's the finish from the.
They just have to finish him. The zombies have to finish the guy.
I
The
think it's
target
like.
The
What-
target is same, but they just have to change the plan to.
I guess we should, I guess, just designate, what is the target? What's the zombie's target?
Human?
Humans,
Not the
okay,
human.
humans,
Feed themselves.
feed, right? It's the food that the humans have,
Maybe
right?
humans, maybe anything.
Anything, yeah, anything that they, it's to feed, right?
We can use another thing to feed it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? So that's the target, okay? Okay, now why do you think it's external?
Yeah, that's I think it's external.
Why?
Because, I mean, the problem they have is they have to feed, right? And human beings are the external supply, general to the to all zombies.
Mhm.
So it's not, so that's why I said it's actually external because what is affecting them is the humans generally
Right.
that they have to deal with. So it's not just you, so every human wants to do that. Every human wants to, I mean, how that put it, I mean, every human is a threat to them, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah, and I get what you're saying.
So suppose the target food, like the humans are as a food, okay? Let me give you example. So suppose like food is at the A point and you are at the B point. You want to go at the A point, but there is a hurdle like you cannot go. So what you gonna do? The food is gonna be there. You have to just change the direction to go to the B. You cannot have that B to come to your side. So you have to change the direction.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Kind of,
yeah, kind of, sort of, a little bit.
but complicated.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Like this.
simple but difficult, right? Georgie kind of came the closest, right? It's more of an external factor, because if you think about what's one of the major components or characteristics of an external factor? What makes it external?
But it's common to every.
Coming from the outside.
It's coming from the outside, right? And what do we know about the outside? External, yeah, that is outside. That's right, external, yeah, it's external.
So for me, I mean, it is common. What I mean is that whatever is affecting, whatever we term external is affecting company A in a particular industry, definitely gonna affect company B in the same industry.
What do we say about external factors? You can't control them, right?
Yes.
External factors cannot be controlled, right? Can the zombies control Will Smith? No, they had no say so in how Will Smith moved, where he went, what he did to him, right? So that's a problem, right? We can create a plan for it, but that's all we can do. We don't know when he's coming. We don't know when he comes, what he's gonna bring with him. What if he wants to talk? Right? I don't know, right? So I'm gonna plan for him, but it's external because of those reasons, specifically because it's out of our control, right? Internally, in the dark in the building, we can do whatever we want. Like, if we wanted to, sorry, Harry, but we're gonna eat you. Okay, because I'm hungry, we can't go outside right now, so sorry, okay? They can do whatever they want internally, okay? But externally, all right, they can't control that. And so they had to come up with a different strategy, right? They had to change something, okay? And so that's what they decided to change, right? They decided to change how they approach their particular target or how they handle the factor. But it took that particular zombie to really think about it, all right? Because in general, the zombies are just walking around, doing nothing, just feeding on whatever animals or whatever they could find, okay? So again, it goes back to understanding what do I need to change, all right? It could be strategic, it could be, structural, right? It could be infrastructure, it could be the workforce, again, like we talked about, okay? It could be a number of things, but you really have to focus in on what areas it's going to affect and why do we want to change that area, all right? Why do we want to implement this particular thing within the system? Especially if it's not broke, from our perspective, all right? So let's just say, okay, so what happened this weekend? Or what happened on Friday? Anybody keep up with finance and who?
Yeah. Silicon Valley Bank.
Silicon Valley Bank, yeah.
Yes.
What happened to it?
They merged with someone, I think now. They are merged with the, I think, national something. Which bank was it?
They didn't merge? Mm-mm. What happened? Corrupt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good word, all right? So basically Silicon Valley Bank got shut down by the FDIC, which is the Federal Deposit Insurance Company, which insures all our monies in the bank, all right? You put your money in the bank, up to $250,000, if something happens, the government says, don't worry about it, we'll pay you your money up to $250,000, right? But Silicon Valley Bank has huge amounts of money from a lot of big companies, millions and millions of dollars. And they got shut down because they were basically insolvent, okay? They could not pay the people their deposits. If everybody came to the bank all at once, they couldn't get their money back, okay? Between poor investments and then debt and all this other stuff, right? And you can't, as a bank, you have to, if everybody comes to the bank the same day and asks for their money, you have to give it to them. If you can't do that, then you're basically terrible bank, okay? And so this is reminiscent of something that happened in 2008. But the bank itself, right, shut down. People are panicking about their money. Roku, right, one of the major companies, had 20% of their money, of their cash reserve in there. I think, a few other people, millions of dollars, but, most 90% of their accounts were $1 million accounts, right, by big companies, okay? So now they shut down, okay? So now they have to figure out, okay, we can't do business as we normally did because we're shut down. People are looking for their money. The government said that they will cover up to 250,000 for people that have their money, in the bank, right? They did that today, right? If you have more than that, then we need to talk. We'll figure something out, okay? Because we need to pay payroll at the same time. But what kind of things you think they're thinking about as a company? If you're the CEO of this bank, what do you think you're thinking about?
Thinking forward for change? To
Yeah,
survive, or
yeah, to change, to survive, to not go to prison, I don't know. Eat by zombies,
maybe change their name and management.
I
you
still
need to
have-
work for the bank.
Silicon Valley Bank has still, they have still given their something to HSBC Holdings right now. I heard that.
Yeah, they what?
HSBC Holdings.
Oh, yeah, HSBC, yeah.
They have acquired them right now and they're still,
Oh, that is the
So-
solution they came up with?
yeah, so
Okay.
right now they're not, the bank, the name is closed, but HSBC is
Yeah.
gonna.
Gonna get acquired them.
Take forward the more thing.
Okay, all right, because
So-
Elon Musk offered to buy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just acquired.
They just
They
acquired.
signed it.
All right, so why I bring that up is because it just happened on Thursday, all right? And the whole banking community was like crazy, all right? People were so scared, like they were running to the bank, pulling their money out, putting it under the mattress, all the old stuff that you used to do, right? They were just scared, and we were nervous about today because we thought everybody was gonna run to the bank again and take all their money out, right? And we don't want that, okay? But that is coming up as what we call an emergent factor, okay? We didn't plan on the banks, on this particular bank not being able to, fulfill its obligations, right? And so now we have to make a change in order to make sure that people get their money, okay? When you are trying to figure out what to change, sometimes you get told what to change. Okay, sometimes it's a crisis. Right? You don't necessarily have the time or the liberty of just saying, oh, we want to change this, we want to change that. Now you have to change. Okay, and in that change, what happens? Right? What does it affect it? Right? Are there long-term effects? Are there short-term effects? Is this gonna impact my, my job, my career, right? Is this gonna impact maybe things I already did before the crisis happened? So before they, the news came out, right? The CEO, the company, they gave out all their bonuses to all their people. This is the day before, 2 days before, they gave them all the bonuses. Then the CEO sold $3 million worth of stock the day before. Okay? So you start seeing these things, right? And you start realizing like, they knew what was happening. They knew what was going on. And there's a lot of different people that are culpable, right? There's a lot of bad players that this shouldn't be happening, right? But again, there's a lot of change that needs to happen within finance, banking system, just the market in general is just terrible right now, okay? There's a lot of crooks, a lot of thieves, right? But they knew what was happening, and they didn't make the change. They didn't take the time to say, where do we need to, implement different processes or try to figure something out, right? And let me take that, but they did try, okay? And which is what triggered the alarm, right? They tried to go and tell the board and the shareholders like, hey, we need to raise $2.2 billion by, in the next couple of weeks. And so they were like, well, why do you need $2.2 billion? You're a bank. you have $160 billion of assets the last time we checked. And you were at a loss this year, right? When they did the financials and they came out with the 10K report or 8K report, they lost $20 billion due to investments and, that kind of thing, right? That still leaves you with $160 billion in assets, right? In cash reserves. Okay, so why do you need to raise $2.2 billion? Well, that's because we don't have it. We don't have the $160 billion that we're supposed to have. It's gone, right? And so that kind of raised alarms, right? Again, they tried to make a change, right? But it wasn't, you have to really analyze the reason you're making a change, right? So if I make a change and it's not necessarily, it's not the best change, or it's not done for the right reasons, right? Because if they had got the $2.2 billion, they would have been fine. They would have put in the bank, no one would have said anything, no one would have known anywise, they would have been doing business as usual, right? Not realizing that there's $160 billion gone or disappeared somewhere, all right? Nobody would ask them the questions, okay? They would have went back to their same processes again, okay? When you going through change, even in a crisis, sometimes you get forced to change, but the change has to be the right change. It has to be for the right reasons, right? So for this company now, as the CEO, if he still has a job in the next couple of days, right? What do you think what do you think he's trying to change? What do you think he's thinking about?
The cybersecurity maybe, of the system, the bank system,
No,
it's not something like that.
no, the cybersecurity is fine. This is all internal stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just internal thieves. Yeah. And it's not necessarily thief, thief is not a good word. They just made very bad, risky investments that didn't pan out based on the market. It just didn't work out for them and they shouldn't have made those, investments. But what do you think he's thinking about?
The operation system,
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Right? He's thinking about maybe some checks and balances within the system that would have maybe red flagged certain transactions and, certain things going through, right? And said maybe, hey,
adding more security options for the customers, maybe so that they feel comfortable with using this bank, maybe.
nah, maybe, right? But aside from that, what else?
Try to avoid risk, more risk for now.
Yeah, definitely that, right? Gonna go back and look at his risk assessment and look at his risk factors and try to figure out, okay, how do I minimize and mitigate my risk? But what else are you thinking about?
For me, I think it's just to get an investor. He has to get out of this bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
Maybe more motivation option for the customers, like bonuses or something to make them more loyalty to let them forget what happened or something.
yeah, I mean, that could some incentives to make
Like some,
back,
something,
yeah,
yeah.
to come back. Well, I mean, that's not gonna work, because no one's gonna trust the bank anymore.
That's correct.
That's not gonna, and no one's gonna trust the CEO anymore, to tell you the truth, right? Even if it wasn't his fault, you're the CEO, it's always your fault. Okay, that's part of leadership. It's always your responsibility at the end of the day, right? You gonna say something, Art?
Because he's still gonna first thing just to try to make customers like comfortable, so that because if they're gonna be okay, then the bank is gonna might receive more money, and then from there they can start their part to avoid the losses.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Look, I mean, right now, at this point, right now, HSBC bought them, right, they acquired them. The government's gonna cover a certain portion of the fund, so, okay, but what do you think when HSBC bought them, what do you think was going through their mind? What were some of the conditions that you would ask for if you were buying the bank? If you were HSBC and you were gonna buy, Silicon Valley Bank in the state, in the condition that they're in right now, and the problem that they're right now, what would you be thinking about?
Maybe you can bring like famous character to handle everything, like.
Yeah, that's what they did, they bring somebody up that
Expand
is familiar.
branding for HSBC.
Oh,
Again, the customer.
a little bit, they're not really, because they're gonna keep it under the HSBC umbrella, so they're not gonna really promote the bank as much. Huh?
The bank name is gone.
Yeah, the bank name is gone, so, yeah, it'll be there, but it's not gonna be a live bank, it's gonna be just a
So they would take the majority of the shares, maybe 90% or something?
No.
Think about it more from an organizational standpoint. Think about it more from a change management. organizational development.
The operation, like, the managerial level, the CEO, all these people.
Got it.
change
Change it,
them,
right? Okay.
Bring the other people, experienced people from huge competitors like Bank of America or something,
Okay.
get them in, announce to all of the people that are solving problems by this person, and everything will be okay later. Maybe.
Okay, no, that's exactly along the lines I want to go to, right? It's gonna be a transformational change. Okay? There's gonna be a change, because HSBC, yes, they required the bank, but they're gonna do what you said, right? They're gonna take that name, change it, okay? They're gonna put some new people. They may even move out of that building. They may move it all together, like, okay, let's move to another building, slap another name on there, okay? And then move all the money in there, and then you guys will act as subsidiary, but guess what? We're gonna be the overarching leadership. We're gonna be the processes. You're gonna tap into us for everything, right? There's gonna be some transformational change that's happening inside the bank, right? Because they're not gonna keep the same CEO, they're not gonna keep anybody, they're gonna bring in new people. But you still have to change the mindset, all right? You still have to change people's attitude towards the bank. Even the people internally, right? Because they're not gonna fire everybody, right? What's the point of firing everyone? If it's a bank, I'm just gonna fire the leadership, basically, and more like the senior leadership. Yeah, more like the senior leadership, right? The CEO for sure, COO, the bank manager, they gotta go. Whoever the investment or fund manager is, that guy gotta go, all right? And so they're gonna have a lot of transformational changes in thinking, changes in ideology and how we approach how we invest our money. Okay, most banks, you know what, everybody knows how banks work. All right? They take your money and what do they do with it? They invest it, but what else do they do with it? They do what?
Trading?
Trading? Okay, yeah, what else do they do with your money? What's the main function of the bank? Yeah, I mean, man, not really, no. Business investment, yeah, the business investment, right?
To lend, yeah, business investment as a constitutional investment.
Interest. That's the name of the game for banks. How do I gain interest, right? Because all the bank does is take your money and give it to somebody else. The interest, that's the bank's money. Even though it's your money, we're holding it for you. Right, you're gonna pay me to hold it for you, okay? That's what you're basically doing with the bank, right? But the first thing is garnering interest. The second one is investing, all right, as you guys said, right? Finding good, instruments that are gonna yield high rates of return, okay? For the bank, for the investors, for, people that just, deposit their money in the banks, right? So they can build different programs, right? Cashback program, you back your ATM fee programs, right? All that stuff is fueled by the money they make off the money we get, right? And so banks in general they have a very high threshold about what they invest in. Should be low risk, right? Not high risk stuff, right? They shouldn't be doing options and some of this other, kind of more risky trading, right? And so they're gonna be going back to more the fundamental banking processes or fundamental thoughts on banking, okay? They're not gonna be doing all this other crazy stuff that hedge funds can do. This is the problem that they really got into. They're a bank trying to play in the hedge fund game, right? JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab, right? These are all hedge funds. These guys are big players in the investment market. The banks don't do that. Banks are about bonds, right? T-notes, blue chip stocks, Microsoft, Google, Apple, things I know aren't going anywhere, okay? Everybody familiar with AMC, movie theater?
Yeah.
All right, or Bed Bath and Beyond. Everybody familiar with Bed Bath and Beyond, right? So everybody knows Bed Bath and Beyond is going bankrupt, right? Yeah, pretty much. all the stores, for the most part, are closing. They're selling all their stuff, right? But there's a way to still make money off of that, right? And I'm not gonna go into the whole investing class, but, shorting is what they call it, right? When you bet against the company, it's called shorting, right? And so they were shorting a lot of companies, right? When they shouldn't have been doing that, because that's not what they do. They're a bank. Hedge funds short, right? Banks do not short, right? Because shorting is very risky, right? You could lose all your money. Hence, Silicon Valley Bank lost all its money, right? Doing shorting things, right? And then it just didn't pan out the way it thought it was gonna pan out, right? And so there's gonna be some serious changes going on with the transformation, and they're not going to be, they're not gonna be phased in, sort of, right? They're not gonna be incremental. They're gonna be fast, bold, and right now. Okay, we're not gonna give you a month to institute this. You're gonna do this today. Okay, whatever this process is, change it. We're gonna do this today, right now. Whoever this person is right here, fire him, bring somebody else in, right? It's not gonna be incremental, because again, as we were talking before, when we first started class, and Carter got the question about integrating certain things within the company and learning curves and that kind of thing, right? That's an incremental change. There's situations that call for immediate change, and you don't have time to really phase things in slowly. You have to quickly, boom, put it in, and let's get this thing rolling, right? Because the longer that they wait to put these changes in, the worse the confidence of the consumer is gonna go down, right? So we don't want that, right? We want to keep consumer confidence high, to the point where the president did a news conference, right? Did anybody watch the news conference the president had? No. I didn't
The
watch it.
one just happened with the Australia and UK.
No, he wasn't talking about, he was talking about specifically this case.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, because you understand, like, and we'll take a break after this, the impact of what happened with Silicon Valley Bank is huge, because it starts to build fear in the people, right? Remember when COVID first started, and everybody was like, oh my God, I went to the store and they didn't have any more aluminum foil, or they didn't have any more paper plates. What did everybody go do? When you went to the store, what'd you do? Or what did some people do, I should say? When they went to the store,
Yeah.
what did they do?
They go look for those things that are scared and put everything together.
Right, they took everything, right? One person would walk out with 20 packs of toilet paper because they were scared, right? Imagine that we all get up right now and we say, I'm going to the bank right now, I'm gonna get my money out of the bank. What do you think would happen to the economy? It would shut down. Our economy would fall apart, okay? So you don't want that, right? You don't want a lack of consumer confidence, right? And so you need to have the president, right, who at this point, right, his image, right, when we talk about images of change, right now he's a director, okay? He's the president of the United States, but in this particular situation, he's a director, because now he's directing people or telling people, hey, you need to fix this, okay? But it's coming from him as a director and also as a change champion, right? Every change has a change champion or change advocate. It's normally someone who's high up in the company, who has a lot of authority and a lot of leverage, a lot of power. Because you want people to see that, oh, you want me to change, but I don't see you doing the change. I see in your office, you still using that old software, but you want me to use this new software, right? When you see the change from the top, you realize that, okay, this is a real change, and that the leadership is embracing the change. So if the leadership is embracing the change, guess what? I need to embrace it too, right? It's almost like the best player on the team. If the best player on the team comes to practice on time, doesn't complain, loves all his teammates, has a good time and has a good personality and is a fun guy, gal, the team is different, right? Everybody's gonna go, well, if the best player is acting this way, I better get in line too, I'm not, cause I'm not that good, right? And he or she's better than me, so I better get it together, right? But the best player just comes in when they want, do what they want, like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow, coach, I'm not gonna practice today, I'm tired, had a long night, I was at the club last night, and then I don't wanna practice. The other players are gonna see that. They're going to start to emulate that behavior, right? And you don't want that, right? And so you have to have somebody at the top that is going to push your agenda. And it's gonna push your change. Because once I see you as a leader taking the change on and advocating for the change, I will embrace it a little more easily. All right? Okay, let's take 10 minutes and then come on back.
Anybody might be already in it. So there's two more. Well, you can do this. Just too many ideas.
Great, I want to share.
Let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
So I agree who are all
You should be able to see it on
it is, but they're like different numbers and then a few of them are out, so we are not clear who are not.
oh, okay.
You could tell,
Oh, you know, I can't right now, Moodle's still down.
yeah.
Okay,
Actually, one,
yeah, I gotta wait till Moodle comes back up, and then I can tell you, but you should be able to see the group.
Yeah.
we have.
That's
two
nothing to do
of
with,
them. I think.
it's 4 people in the group.
Yeah, it's four.
It's four.
I'm with Christina,
Yeah, you, Christina,
Masood.
Mansoor, yeah.
I think
No, Masood, there's a Masood,
Masood.
there's a Masood. No, that's not.
Not you.
Not
It-
you.
it's the-
There's Masood, the dude, and there's a Masood, yeah, Masood, yeah. A Oud, with a Oud,
Okay.
yeah, so, yeah,
So I think four of us.
there's one more, and there's one more, so.
There's Christina, there's Mansoor,
Yeah,
Masood,
Masoud and.
yeah, that's it, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So we have to choose the subject
Yeah.
or something.
There's three options, and you can pick which one you want.
It's showing like you have to make for 10 to 12 pages.
Huh?
It's like 10 to 12 pages.
Oh, no, just go with the case. I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Just go.
Also, these are
I'll
just
talk.
the person that I texted
Huh?
about
It says 10 to
the.
12
Yeah, I
pages.
know.
that we have to
I'll talk
go.
about
Why
it.
don't I have it?
Yeah, I'll let you guys know right now.
It's in the Moodle. I'm texting you. a
It's
thing.
an app for a
It's
phone?
our college app,
Hey,
The what?
the Moodle,
Yeah, Moodle, it's the portal.
the portal
only the portal?
that I have texted you just before.
Yes, I received it by email.
Email, oh,
You've been on the portal, yeah, you have. You've done your learning engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the learning engagement, that's
So
Moodle.
where you submit your learning
Your work,
engagement, that's.
So I
Moodle.
can download it by like an app.
Yeah. Oh, that can be accessed through website
It's
also.
Yes.
amazing for me.
Yes.
Oh, and who's Christina? I mean.
Christina,
is
she's
she-
not here today, but she's in class normally, yeah, she's the dentist.
Oh, okay.
She's the,
So
the,
I
the
think-
young lady, she's the only white young lady here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
count you as white.
So what else?
Mansoor.
No, the other one.
The other one?
But yes, he's in
He's-
class, yeah, he's there too.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, I don't know if I don't think, no, actually, he's been here, but he doesn't come
Maybe,
all the time.
maybe.
Okay, is
He was here
now?
the first week, no, he's not here right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
That means only
Okay.
one of
Yeah,
them.
so I
We'll
would
see
say,
tomorrow, but we don't have others. next
yeah,
week.
no, it's not due tomorrow,
I mean, Wednesday.
there's nothing due Wednesday.
The title justification.
No, the time justification is for your final paper.
Oh, it's just, it's individual. okay. The
Yeah, yeah.
Group case study?
Yeah, that's for week 5.
That's for week 5,
Week
yeah.
5 or 6, whichever we get, yeah. So I'll clear it up, so everybody, because
Okay.
everybody gets confused with that sometimes.
Yeah. And
With the
then
time justification, and group case
group
study,
case study.
I'll talk about it. And then-
Sure.
Okay.
So I thought it was for the group
No,
case again.
no.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
They said that when they come in, after the class. Oh, yeah, thank you. I was saying we should have a brief meeting, but, they said after class, we wanted to come from air. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, 5 minutes. I mean, yeah. So could you recommend any sites where I can, if I want to publish papers, something to review?
Yeah, that one's tough, because I'm not real versed on, aside from journals, I'm not real versed on like where else you can just publish. Like, you could always send your stuff to any publication, to tell you the truth. And whether or not it's relevant is a different story.
It's not more or less like, it's, you know, there's something I'm working on, basically as a student, for you to transition, getting a green card, you have to do what they call the EB2NIW. It's called
Okay.
a national interest region.
Okay,
So part of the criteria for you to get eligible is like you must publish. I already met one of them, a professional.
yeah.
Then you have to publish
That is what-
something that is evidential to you.
Got you.
You know, so that's basically what I'm looking for presently.
Yeah, you can work, yeah.
Yeah, where to publish like 1 or 2 papers. Where,
I would say, you know, check the SDSU library. Check all the universities, UCSD, SDSU, because they all have their own publications that they publish papers in that are peer reviewed.
okay.
Yeah, I know that's, you know, that's the main, they need peer review.
Yeah.
So check all the universities and check their library and talk to librarians and like, hey, I have a paper I'm trying to publish it. What's the process for me to publish it in the San Diego State University journal, whatever journal you guys subscribe to? Talk to them, and they'll give you, you know, some different places to go, you know, look at, or maybe they have their own thing where they like, just submit and then we'll get it published. We'll review it, you know, and then we'll get it published. I don't know how long it takes, but, you know, I'm trying to think where you could. So what are you trying to publish though? Are you trying to publish the photos, the stuff you're working on now? I don't know, I would say the journal of optometry. No, isn't that?
They'll publish it, but, I just wanted it to be like, peer review, just like what you said.
That's a peer review journal. Or you can do the journal of medicine.
Yeah.
Journal of medicine. Any health-related journal would take your case study. It's just the speed at which they're gonna, you know, it takes a long time. Wow, because they gotta go back in, but the thing is, yours is a case study, right? It's from your patient, so I don't know what methodology you use. I don't know, like how you put the numbers and all that stuff.
It's actually qualitative.
So it's qualitative. They're still gonna be looking at your methods, right? Buckets, trends, you know, it's just one, you know, it's 5 different cases, right? It's visual, and so, you know, that's a little bit more like scrutiny on it because it's not a big group at all. And then if it's something that's kind of a common thing, so case 1 is like, you know, I don't know, cataracts. Everybody got cataracts, right?
What's it really about?
Right, there's plenty of research. So, okay, what do you add to this field? Cataracts, right? Okay, maybe not. We don't really want that, right?
That, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, I'm assuming it's innovative and it's new, you know, adding to, the discipline in some different way. But that's what I would do. I would check the university library and that would go down the line. Journal of Medicine, Medical Journal of America, Journal of Health Sciences. I mean, all these publications, they're all peer reviewed. You just gotta pull them up,
Yeah.
you know, that's it. Pull them up.
That's it, exactly, because I don't think, because my friend that got his rehab research,
Yeah.
he used the school, but I don't think his school has that.
No. And that's the thing about this school. The school doesn't,
Yeah.
we have no research. Zero research. We're not in tier, right? Because the school system, the way they go, it's through tier. Tier 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Tier 1 is the highest level of research, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, those type of schools, right? You know what I'm saying too? Try HBR or try Harvard Review. Because Harvard has a really good journal. I use the Harvard Business Review, which is basically the journal for business folks, and they publish the articles there. But I know they have one for medicine. Try that one. Yeah, try all of them. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, all those guys. And the thing is, those classes are probably faster.
Yeah, because my friend said he used the same.
Yeah.
But when I told him that, he had no offer, I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably very fast, you know.
Thank you.
Of course.
Did you check the material? Sorry? Did you check the case study material? We have 3 options
Yeah, we have 3 options.
and only one.
You only have to pick one. You only have to pick one.
Pick one, right? Whichever we want.
Yeah.
Did you check it? Well, number right, 25 pages.
I'm gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. I'll let you, yeah, that's,
So what?
Yeah.
all
We
right.
have to share weekly, therefore,
Can I sit down? Yes, I was going to speak, I was.
All right, let's get started, everybody. You guys check that out when you get a chance.
Ah, you have a Nike over there.
Yeah,
Not Jordan?
no, not today. I was like, I didn't feel like wearing shoes today. With my Nike, no Jordans today. I only had one pair of Jordans for a long time ago. And that's it. I don't believe in buying Jordans. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
How much is
So that was why I was like.
Jordan? The ones I have, I paid $300 for them. And I bought them a long time ago. And then now they're back again, but they're like $500. Wow.
300, 500?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna get me like
Exactly.
10, that's gonna be like 10 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I play basketball. I don't play basketball anymore.
Oh,
I just wear them to walk around.
I don't know.
Right, it's about to start class. Okay, so as we talked about before, right, innovation is one of those things that, you know, drives change, right? And so when you look at, you know, innovation as a driver of change, you have to really think about, you know, the person or the people that are, you know, considered what we call disruptors. People that come in and they look at the status quo, they look at the paradigm and say, you know what? I don't really think that this is being done efficiently or productively. I can do better, right? And so innovators and disruptors, they have a certain mindset or certain things that they think about in a way that we don't necessarily think about, right? Think about Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or anybody that's come in and provided some high level of change, right? Elon Musk, right? But really Steve Jobs probably the best example we had in our lifetime of someone that built something that totally changed everything about. Can you close the door for me? You get it. Come on, thank you. No, I'll tell you to close the door.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But no, you're good. We got it. Oh, she's going outside. So when we talk about those guys, right, there's certain things that they look at, right? So some of the habits that they have, like associating, question, observing, experimenting, and networking. So basically, they're always looking to, right, associate. How do I connect things? Okay, how do I associate one concept or idea, right, with another so that I can build upon it, right? How do I associate, theory of relativity, right, relativity to how I, build a Tesla? Okay, so we're trying to put things together. Questioning, that questioning is just, that's the natural tendency for any academic, any researcher, right? Even you guys here in class, you're always probably always asking questions, right? I'm always wanting to know something. I'm always inquiring, like, okay, how does that work? Why'd you do that? I don't understand this, right? Explain it to me, right? You're always asking questions because you want to know more. You want to figure out how things work. Because again, once you figure out how it works, you're like, I probably can do it better. Okay? Observing, another key component of being a disruptor, right? A change manager. You are just looking, right? Some of the best things you're gonna learn just from watching, right? You have to be able to be a follower before you can become a leader, right? Same thing, you have to be able to observe and just take notes and just take it in and see it for what it is before you start to break it down, okay? If you don't understand it, right, you can't necessarily synthesize it. You can't, break it down to its simplest components so you can put it back together again, right? And so you have to really sit there and look at what is it that I'm seeing, right? And am I seeing all of it? Right? Are there different dimensions, different layers to what I'm looking at, right? So you get there to observe it. Experimenting, of course, right? We go in, we see what works, what doesn't work, and we go back to the drawing board, all right? And that failed, that didn't really pan out too great, right? Not Steve Jobs, but Bill Gates, when he was making the computer in his garage, he had 17, 18 different prototypes that he went through because they didn't work, okay? And you get a lot of this, of course, in basic research and development, and we're just trying to trial and error. Does this work? No. Okay, let me try some, just like basically I Am Legend in the movie, right? If you know, he's a virologist, right? He's trying to experiment to try to find a cure for the disease. So he's going through experiment. He's going through 50, 60 different zombies trying to experiment to figure out what is the right combination of things that I can use to make sure I get to the cure, right? So he's doing questioning, he's observing, right? He's associating, right? He's doing all these things, and then he's gonna eventually get to the point where I have a solution, okay? He's not doing any networking, really, because there's nobody else alive, really, in that particular scenario, okay? But networking is another aspect of a disruptor or innovation, right? You have to be able to plug into other people because other people are going to help you get to your dream, right? Even as smart as Elon Musk is, he doesn't know everything about everything. Okay, he has to network, right? Even if he didn't know everything about everything, he couldn't do everything on his own, okay? Anybody seen that movie, just came out and just got a lot of awards? Everything, everywhere, all at once, right? Did anybody watch that movie? No?
Is it Netflix?
It's on, where's it at? It's on HBO, I think now. It's on HBO.
It's got like five.
Yeah, I watched it the other day. I have to be honest, it's confusing. I don't understand it.
What is that? What is that regarding?
Yeah, it's a movie about more like, have you seen Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio? Where they can change the world and they kind of make it upside down. He can make it however he wants, and in more kind of augmented reality, sort of. It's kind of like that, right? But again, like I said, I didn't understand it. So I have to go back and watch it again so I can understand, so I can explain it to you. Because if I explain to you now, you can be like, this movie's stupid. And it has like good parts in that I kind of got, but I still didn't understand the core premise of the movie. Like, what is this movie about? Like, I don't know what it is. I see some magic here. This guy's disappearing. There's kung fu. There's people getting shot. It's like, what? It's just confusing, all right? But at the end of the day, everything all at once, whatever, everywhere, whatever the title was like. Elon Musk can't do that. No one can. None of us are omnipresent, right? And no one is God here, right? When I say omnipresent, I mean like everywhere, all at once, all the time. Okay? God's only God, Allah, whoever it is that you pray to, right? That's the only entity that's everywhere all at once, right? So because of that, you have to be able to build networks. You have to build relationships, right? Because again, you never know who's gonna do what in their life, okay? So in order to be successful, right, you have to depend on people, right? No one's an island. No successful people are islands, right? And if anyone successful tells you that they did it on their own, they're lying to themselves, right? Nobody does it on their own. You have a group of folks that you count on, right, that are there, and they're your network, they're your foundation, right, to help you through things, right? They're doing stuff for you because you can't do it all, right? And so that's an important aspect of innovation. Okay, okay, right, okay. Next thing that is, an area that we would consider to change is organizational culture, okay? A huge aspect of any company. What is it like inside the company, right? What do the people, the employees think about the organization itself, right? What do they think about the leadership? Would they continue to work here? Would they recommend you to come work here, okay? The culture in a company will dictate a lot about work-life balance, will dictate a lot about productivity, efficiency, right? And you may not necessarily need to change the culture, right? Because you have a lot of hardworking, good folks that are doing what they're supposed to do, and you yourself as a leader are, that kind of person, right? But then there's some cultures that are toxic that you have to change, right? For instance, we talked about Wells Fargo before, right? Where they were creating bank accounts for people that didn't ask for them. Are you guys familiar with all that? Well, some of you guys are. All right, so basically Wells Fargo, this came from the top and said, hey, for every account you create, we're gonna give you a $500 bonus or something, okay?
Referrals.
Was that?
Referrals was still.
Oh, is it?
$300.
Yeah, $300, right? So that's a fine incentive. That's good. That's okay, right?
It's still happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fine.
I have a good one.
Shares the same thing.
No, but there's a
200.
condition.
Yeah.
There's a condition. If you refer someone, after 90 days, if that person do the transaction of more than 4,000, then only you get it. Terms and conditions.
Okay, so they put some things in there, right? Because what happened in Wells Fargo was that $300 or $500 for every new account you open. Guess what? Me as a teller, I'm opening up all kind of accounts. Hey, mom, you want an account? No? Well, whatever, I'm opening one for you anyway. Sister, account? No? Newborn baby, account? Yes, you did, right? That's what they were doing, right? All these dummy accounts, the people then, I didn't open an account. Why would I do that? I don't want an account. I don't want 3 checking accounts at the same bank. I don't need that, right? And so Wells Fargo was doing that. They had incentivized the employees to behave poorly, but it came from the top. Okay? And so that organizational culture that it set was that, hey, do whatever you gotta do to get the money. Okay? Do whatever you have to do to make sure that we look good. Because what they were trying to do is they were trying to beef up the books. They were trying to make sure that they looked like they had a lot of accounts with a lot of money so that they look good for the reporting season. Right? Because the reporting season, we all know how that goes. When it's time to report, if you didn't meet the market earnings per share, then the stock goes down and all this other nonsense. You gotta work back up and all this stuff, right? So they wanted to beef up the books and make it look like, hey, we're doing good, we're looking great. Gonna find out, all these people are like, I didn't have this account, I didn't open it, who signed this stuff? Okay, and so now, investigation. Come to find out, all the employees, the low-level employees said, hey, my boss said, if I open this account, it's $500. And he said, it's okay if the customer comes in and says, you know, hey, we have an account here, and it's okay to open another account. Okay, it's kind of like when you go buy a phone, right? Sometimes when you go buy a phone, have you ever gotten something free? No? No, nobody? Okay, well, this is
Apple is
something,
removing what they used to give.
huh?
Even Apple nowadays is removing what they used to give before.
But they used to give something, right?
But they can give like 3 months Apple Music, something like. that.
Okay, so 3 months Apple Music, right? Maybe they give you something like that, right? But before, like Sprint and T-Mobile and AT&T, what they were doing was that they would say, you come in for the phone, right? Say, yeah, I got my phone. And they go, hey, you know what? You get a free speaker, you get a free Bose speaker, or you get a free pair of AirPods, whatever they call them, right? And you go, oh, great, cool. And they say, well, you know, it's free, but
But
it needs a line. It needs its own line, its own committed line, all right? So I do you have your regular phone number? We're gonna give you another phone number just for these AirPods or for whatever it is we gave you, right? It's only $5 per month. Okay, and you go, okay, I got free something and then open up a new line, right? Yeah, it's $5 per month, right? $5 more than they were getting before, when you first thing. Now you got two numbers. Okay, and then it's probably promotional. After 90 days, it's probably gonna be $15.
yeah, that's.
Okay, and so now what they really did was they kind of tricked you into getting something you didn't want to get, right? In front is the speaker, in the back is the line and the money. Okay, I got the speaker, but I didn't realize I was paying for it till you get the bill. Like, what's this extra $20 about? Oh, remember that tablet we gave you? It needs a line.
You offered me something like that.
Right.
When I opened I wanted to get my AT&T.
Mhm.
They were like something on that, airport or Beat by something. Drake.
Yeah, Beats by Dre, yeah.
That's why I'm like, I don't want.
Yeah, don't do it, okay? No
I
such thing as
already
free.
got the trap.
You fell for it already, huh? I mean, we all have it. Honey, you're not alone. I'm right behind you. I might be in front of you, actually.
So, my friend said like use Mint Mobile, it's very good.
Oh, yeah.
And I signed up
Mhm.
and then it's like 65 for 3 months. But after 3 months is the regular price, whatever companies charge. Same, so it's showing in my account, like you have to pay the same, I was paying to Verizon before.
Oh, I thought Mint was all, Mint was like super cheap and,
But I
Just
think
for,
the cheapest
just for
right now,
starting, just for starting.
the cheapest right now is Verizon as I heard, but I
Yeah.
don't know how true, because I learned the unlimited is 25. I'm not planning to switch
okay.
Verizon.
You have to be, you have to have 4 people on it. You have to have 4 people on it.
Well, it's like a family plan, like
If it's
so.
one person, you're gonna pay as much as $90.
What?
Yes,
When I'm
No,
paying.
it's 35.
that's why it is.
Unlimited.
35, well, no, only 5, 10 GB.
Unlimited.
No, but I'm
All right. Limited, not limited, two tin cans in a row. All right, you guys figure that, okay? You make sure you never know where she needs to go, okay? The point is that the culture of the organization is set up that way. Sprint, AT&T, that's how they set up their companies, right? That's what they tell their people. When you go into the phone store, they see you walking in, they're already, how can I upsell you? Okay? I'm gonna upsell. No, they teach them that. Upsell. Okay, because guess what? They don't really make that much money off the phone. They don't, right? It's in the upsell.
He's
Okay?
not looking at you as a human being, he's looking for you as a number for achieving his target.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, right? That's that, we all do that, right? I look at your human being.
In 2000, I read a note about Verizon case study, what happened in 2018. What
Uh-huh.
Verizon was doing in the stores, they were putting the jammers in all stores around the area.
Uh,
Whoever was walking in inside the store, all the networks were going down and they were showing like Verizon is having good share
yeah,
just to make the market proud. So they got a fine of, I think, 2 million with this.
the culture, right? The way you approach the business, right? That is set from the top, okay? And so if you tell your workforce that it's okay to be kind of, to cheat a little bit and to do whatever you need to do to get the money, right? That's gonna permeate throughout the organization. Everyone's gonna do it, right? Because they're doing it. That guy got $10,000 as a bonus. I want a $10,000 bonus, so I'm gonna do it too, okay? But the organizational culture drives people's behavior, right? It drives them to do certain things that they know they wouldn't do, right? And so you have to kind of make sure you have a leader that, or leadership that is ethical, moral, is gonna do the right thing and set the right organizational culture. Just like I said, I used to work for Wells Fargo and doing in investments, right? And it has to be one of the dirtiest, most cutthroat industries I've ever been in before, okay? And I was in the military, and our business was killing people, okay? And these guys I was scared of, right? It was really bad, because they would step on their mother to get an account from somebody, from, a rich person, okay? It was very cutthroat, backstab you, just, hey, whatever you need to do to get the account, it's on you. If you need to kick Larry in the head, or, and they say, if a lion's chasing you, and if me and you're running and the lion starts chasing us, what's the answer? Shoot the lion if you don't have a gun.
Just run away.
Use the other person as the bait.
I don't have to beat the lion, I just gotta beat you. Okay? I don't gotta beat the lion. I just gotta trip you up, so I can get away, the lion's gonna eat you, I'll be long gone. Okay? That's kind of attitude that Wells Fargo had, right? And so that was set from the top though. The organizational culture was just the way it was. When I got in, I was like, this place is toxic, because they would do anything to get the money, right? Especially in investments and finance.
Okay,
Go
I
ahead.
have an example.
Yeah.
I used to work for a company in Nigeria called Smart Flow Technology.
Mhm.
So from the first day you enter the company, the first thing you hear is that no big boy in Smart Flow. I don't know if you understand. So no big boy in Smart Flow. What that means is that everyone has to get their hands dirty.
Got you.
So from the top to the bottom,
Mhm.
you have to be there. You have to do things.
Right.
So that when your people behind you see that you're doing it, you also get involved.
Yeah.
They don't want to have, so then we didn't have a boss, subordinate relationship, but we had a boss that is always there to give us support. So that was why we had that pidgin, because it's a mixture of, pidgin language, or what do you call this language, like the slang.
Yeah.
That no big boy. It means that you can't be a boss here. If you
Like
are-
an idiom.
Yeah, so if you are the manager, you better get down and work and show these guys how to do the stuff.
Right.
So that's the kind of culture of it.
That's the good way to say it, right? From the top, like, hey, it's, the whole term, the whole quote of, I wouldn't do something, I would actually do something that I wouldn't do myself.
Every
Right.
industry is like that, basically, because like when I came into the US, I opened an account with Chief,
Mhm.
which I kind of, initially their policies and all that, I had to quit,
Mhm.
using them. So I went to Bank of America, they're like, oh, this, like, oh, Chase is this, want to bring, I know the strategy, like, we're the one that's, Diesel, all the
Right.
banks copy, all those kind of stuff that I know, because coming from everybody is a competitive market and everybody
Yeah.
wants to get new, but my point is, why do you want to bring down someone? Because coming from my own medical field, it is wrong to criticize another doctor's
Right,
work.
correct, yeah.
Because if you do that and the other doctor comes up, you can be, like, your license
Right.
can be removed.
Yeah.
Because you brought down your colleague.
Yeah.
What you can need to do is you call up the person or whatever, oh, this treatment approach wasn't properly, I feel, you won't actually tell, I just feel this is how to do it,
Mm.
and all that. So for me, I think it is wrong to, want to talk down on another person's work, but I
Right.
think it's normal here, basically.
I don't know about the hospital. I mean, I know how doctors kind of approach their work, and that you don't necessarily want to question another doctor's approach, because you don't really know all the facts about the case, first thing. Secondly, you don't want the patient to get to know that you're questioning your doctor's approach, because then they're like, well, why is another doctor saying you're not doing it right? Right? Because there's more than one way to do something. All right. And so why would I question the doctor? And that's for the medical field, and from what I'm thinking about, my perspective, but not having been in the medical field and being in business, that's kind of how we think about it, where you're not going to criticize or talk about somebody else's deliverable, right? Because there's different ways to do stuff. And so you're not going to want to undermine that person in front of anybody. All right. You're not going to want to bring their intelligence or their approach under scrutiny, right? Any doubt, right? So if someone says, you know what, that supply chain or that supply vendor you got, it's not that great, you made a bad decision, or we could have done something different, you can always do something different, right? But I'm in charge, right? When it's your turn to be in charge, you can make the decision. But I'm in charge now, so we're gonna go this way. Not just to say that that decision always right, right? People make decisions, they don't work out, right? And we should have went the other way. But at the end of the day, the culture is set by the leadership. And so apparently in the medical field, the culture in the hospital is supposed to be, hey, we don't question other doctors' approach, right? Or treatment, right? For the most
No,
part,
you can,
you can,
you can.
but you have to do it in a
Yeah.
certain way.
Yeah,
Okay, so, but that's still an organizational culture thing, right? You just can't put them on blast. You can't just be like in a meeting and say, that sucked. Oh, you can, or you,
you can. When it gets to a certain level,
yeah, well, yeah. You like
yeah,
keep
when
it,
it's
yeah.
threatening, you
Yeah.
can.
Okay, when it's more life threatening and more
Yeah.
severe,
Mhm.
okay, so you can do it in certain points.
You
but-
can just intervene without complaining, without.
Yeah, you
doing
can
comment.
intervene, because if you complain, it's the same thing, you'll be mitigated. You are not supposed
Supposed to,
to
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I mean, every industry had its own, every company, I should say, has its own organizational culture. And that is really set by the leadership at the end of the day. Some industries, you'll find that based on the size and the type of thing they're doing, the culture will be set by the actual employees, but it'll be set in different departments differently. Like marketing will have a certain way they behave compared to operations, all right? And they'll have different organizational culture approaches, but in the end of the day, they all know it, like, we're not supposed to do certain things because our company doesn't like when we do that, right? Our company doesn't like that we mistreat our employees, for instance. But, hey, I need you here 12 hours today, or I need you here 14 hours tomorrow, right? Is that something that the company is going to condone or is advocating for? No, but based on our workload and based on what we have to do in our department, that may not necessarily be in line with the organizational culture or the way we do things on an organizational wide level, right? In general, right? So it's all different, right? Culture is different, but it definitely contributes to a lot of change, right? And you can have an impactful change if you can change the culture, right? And in many instances, that's what it is. It's a lot of organizational change, paradigm shift, right? Change in thought and mentality, right? Changing how you think about your work, self-efficacy, right? How confident you are in your own abilities in doing certain things. And so that's always, a harder thing to change. Processes, SOPs, software, that stuff is easy to change. Your mindset, organizational culture is difficult to change, right? Because people just have a different approach to how they deal with things, right? And they don't necessarily always agree with the culture, right? Some people believe like, hey, if you can't cut it, you can't cut it. You gotta go. Other people like, hey, I understand you're having a hard time. Let me help you, right? And so that is that person's individual character. But that doesn't mean that, that the organizational culture has to.
You can say the theme of the company, right?
Yeah, the theme of the company, yeah, you can say it
The
that way.
theme,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you can say it that way,
Okay,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
so the theme of Barcelona is ticketing, right?
Is what?
The theme of Barcelona team
Mhm.
is ticketing.
No, that's strategy.
That's strategy, yeah.
Strategy, not that thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you think theme, you're thinking like,
The way do they have to work on it?
no,
It's not
The
a
frame rule.
yeah, the framework,
Yeah,
yeah, the framework.
we can say it by team,
You can say theme, right, to, as another word for organizational culture,
okay?
because the theme is something that will be common to everyone, right? The theme is, oh, we have to,
You
you
can't
know,
change it easily, you can change
Right.
it by long term.
long-term, yeah, it's a
Something.
long-term approach, right? You're not gonna change the theme or the mindset of someone overnight,
Okay.
all right? You're not gonna think, their theme is not gonna change overnight.
Mhm.
All right, it may take a couple weeks, couple months to change again how they're thinking. Right,
With
exactly.
strategy, not-
Yes, absolutely. Strategy will determine the theme, right? For some people, right, as it should. But again, when you go back to the culture of the company could be successful, but have a really bad, toxic organizational culture. Right? And the team, and you have other companies that are terrible, but have great organizational culture. Like, I have friends that work at Apple, and they were like, it sucks. Like, the idea of working at Apple and the things you're working on is great, but the culture sucks. The people are really hard to get along with. Everybody's always looking over their back. People don't trust each other. That's an organizational culture thing. But guess what? I'm working on a new Mac. You know, I'm working on a new iPhone. I'm working on this new product that we're gonna bring to market in a couple of years. It's amazing, all right? Or Meta, you know, hey, we're gonna do some virtual reality stuff. But I don't like Mark Zuckerberg.
The company is comfortable with it, that is their own strategy.
Yeah.
Having that toxic,
Right.
not being.
Not always.
No,
not always.
No, no,
some
no,
companies
some- yeah.
actually are structured in that manner.
Yeah, some
Like,
companies, yeah,
Yeah, some companies are structured like staffs can't be, everybody's always snitching on each other. That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
how the structure of the company is
So
put up.
it is right, you're right, right? So that is mostly in sales, right? Companies that have sales, they do that on purpose because they want to create a healthy competition, but sometimes it just goes overboard, right? Because in sales, really, there's no limit to sales, right? All the successful salespeople, if they're really good, they're making $500,000, $1 million a year, right? If you're good at sales, go for it. There's no limit, right? But the company knows that, and the company wants you to push. I want you to get as many sales as you can, right? You gonna like hard to get more sales than you this month? Okay, right? And you gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna get more sales than me. Nope. And so they create this competition, but sometimes it gets toxic, but it is ingrained, it is structured that way within the company as the culture, as we are competitive. Right? It turns into a bad competition, right? There's good, healthy competition, right? But then you get into this kind of toxic, cutthroat, kind of evil type competition. You like, slashing with tires and stupid stuff, like messing up the computer or whatever the case may be, okay? All right, I'm gonna end it here, but before we go, two things. No, I saw something on the wall. Two things. So one, the title justification is due this Sunday, okay? Title justification strictly relates to the final paper that you have due at the end of the session, okay? And that is whatever topic you want to write on, as long as it's relevant to organizational development or change management, okay? I don't care what it's in, I don't care what industry, but you need to connect it to OD and change management, okay? So that's what the title justification is about. Tell me the title, and tell me why you picked that particular topic and why it's relevant. No more than one paragraph. Okay? That didn't go well. More paragraph, no more than one paragraph, okay? It's only worth 20 points. I don't want to spend 10 minutes reading it.
People are looking for words.
Okay? 1 minute, it's a minute and a half. I got it, all right? Title, why you thought it was interesting, how it's relevant, and that's it. Okay, 20 points. right? Think about how much these things are worth, okay? And correlate that to the time you spend on it, all right? First thing. All right, next thing, case study. Make sure you get with your groups. Find out who's on your team, right? The groups, I had to rearrange them last week, right? So everybody should be good to go, okay? You have 3 options to choose from. You can choose any one of the 3, right? Don't worry about the word count. Don't worry about the page count. Again, quality content, okay? Quality, substantive content. Quality over quantity. I'm gonna say it again, quality over quantity. Don't worry about 25 pages, N pages. Work the case, okay? If you feel like you've done everything you can and you have conveyed your point, defended your position, whatever, to your satisfaction, turn it in. But don't turn in 1 page. I'm not even gonna look at it. Give it F. The whole group will get an F, so don't worry about that, okay? Make it make sense. Okay, we're all graduates here. Everybody got degrees all day, all right? So look at the case that you pick, and maybe that's a criteria. Like, which one do I need to write the least amount of things for? Okay, and you decide on that case. But don't worry about the page count, right? Don't, I know, because one of them says 25 pages, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about the page, don't worry about the page count. It's just that those numbers are there because traditionally, if you really develop the case, you're probably gonna get a 25 pages. It's kind of like writing your thesis or dissertation, for those that had to write dissertations or thesis. You start and then next thing you know, you think it's gonna be hard, next thing you know, you have 15 pages and you're only in the intro. Okay, so you write more than you actually think. All right, you think 10 pages is a lot, it's really not a lot if you're really doing some real work. All right, if you're really doing some good analysis, you'll get through 10 pages just like that. But what I'm saying here is that keep it reasonable. Because again, I don't want to have to read 10, 15, 25 pages or 30 pages. Okay, then you turn in the paper last session and it was supposed to be 15 pages, I think. But it was 35 pages.
Oh my God.
Now, in his defense, 10 of them were references.
Yeah.
And his paper was really good. It's real good paper, right? But I didn't want to read 25 pages. Okay, I like to sleep, like to go out, like to eat, like to shower, I like to do other things. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, Dr. Case has a life. All right, so keep that in mind. All right. Okay, aside from that, hope there's clarification on those 2 points. All right. And I'm not gonna take anybody emailing me last minute, talk about, can I turn it in on my own? I can't find my group. No. Okay, plenty of time, find your group, find somebody, become friends, I don't know. Figure it out. Okay? All right, any other questions? Comments? Complaints?
And
I'm gonna say complaint boxes out there. I don't take complaints. Okay, that's it. I'll see you next week. All right. What's up?
Case study? Yeah. Case study number 2,
Mhm.
I have a question. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just we should answer this question?
Yes, and answer that and then, expound on other things too, but if you stay focused on those 4 questions, you should be good to go in providing a good comprehensive summary of the case.
Okay, yeah, the case study information itself are different from something, yeah, like as you said, introduction, 1 or 2 pages.
Right, yeah,
Summary,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We just focus on the
Yeah,
base
focus on it,
question.
yeah,
Oh,
would be good, yeah,
I think
yeah. Yep.
we just answer. Introduction.
So I don't want to either. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Then not this, next to next. So, like, we can start at least like Monday, or like, next to the
Yeah.
day, Tuesday, we can all submit, like, we see each other's work and.
That's why I feel like.
What do you want to write in your mind?
Our topic related to that must
I
be
review.
related to.
For now, case study, he has given like.
I just-
She knows you can read and analyze.
That's not really.
So we're done. Or five.
But, you know, in the movie, even the week, you can, yeah, there's nothing, you know, I'll send you. Like, where you can send case studies. There are like, we have to. Yeah, I'll share. And you have that. So, you know. Just ask him. You can like, take a look. Yeah.
Here's this chunk.
Shall we? Bye.
All right, see you guys next week, okay? Have a good one.
Show all them.
Yeah, believe me, I want to.
Get the
What's
question.
the
All right, see you later.